chosen ones, God changed your appearance. You keep looking better, and no one knows why. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have you ever noticed how, as you grow spiritually, your energy shifts, and even your appearance seems to glow with a new radiance? This is no coincidence. When God chooses you, He transforms you from the inside out. Your confidence, aura, and presence become undeniable. People may wonder why you keep looking better, but the truth is, it's His divine favor at work. Have you experienced this transformation in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's uplift each other on this journey. 1. The journey of a chosen one. From a young age, chosen ones often carry an air of wisdom far beyond their years. You may have looked older when you were younger, not because of age, but because of the depth of your soul. Your spirit has always been rich with understanding, weighed down at times by the trials and burdens you had to endure. Many around you may have failed to see the true essence of who you were back then, but God was always shaping you for something greater. As the Bible reminds us in Isaiah 61, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Every hardship you have faced, every moment of inner turmoil was not for nothing. The struggles, the isolation, the pain, they all served a purpose. You were being refined, much like gold is purified through fire. God allowed certain challenges to enter your life to strip away anything that didn't serve your divine purpose. You may have experienced emotional storms that left you feeling broken, but in reality, you were being rebuilt into something stronger, more radiant, and spiritually awakened. As time passes, something miraculous happens. While many around you may begin to show the effects of stress, fear, and worldly burdens, you start to move in the opposite direction. God's work within you brings peace, clarity, and a divine glow that cannot be explained by science or logic. Your outward appearance begins to reflect your inner transformation. Your eyes become brighter, your energy becomes magnetic, and your spirit exudes a quiet confidence that draws people in. You may not even realize it, but you are becoming the living embodiment of God's grace, proof that divine favor is real. Have you ever wondered why certain people begin to treat you differently? Some may admire you, feeling drawn to your presence, while others might react with envy or confusion. The reason is simple. They sense that something about you has changed, but they can't quite put their finger on it. What they don't realize is that God has been working behind the scenes, elevating you in ways that only He can. This divine transformation isn't just physical, it's spiritual. Your soul is aligning with your higher purpose, and that alignment manifests in your aura, your expression, and even your physical features. As you shed old wounds and embrace your spiritual path, you begin to carry yourself differently. You radiate joy, resilience, and faith. Those who look to Him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. Psalm 34:5. So, if you've noticed that you're looking better, feeling lighter, and drawing more attention, understand that it is no accident. It is the undeniable sign of spiritual evolution. God has been molding you, shaping you, and removing anything that doesn't align with His purpose for you. You are stepping into the fullness of your destiny, and the world is beginning to take notice even if they don't understand why. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss powerful insights like this. Share your thoughts in the comments and declare, "I am stepping into my divine transformation." Let the world witness your light. 2. God's hand in your transformation. Every hardship, every challenge, and every season of darkness you have endured was never meant to break you. It was meant to refine you. God has been shaping you for a divine purpose, preparing you for something far greater than you could have imagined. When the world turned its back on you, when people overlooked you, when you felt unseen and misunderstood, God was working behind the scenes, using every trial to mold you into the person He always intended you to be. It was in those silent struggles, those lonely nights of prayer, and those moments of complete surrender that God's power truly began to manifest in your life. He was not only transforming your spirit, He was reshaping your entire presence. Your aura, your energy, and even your physical appearance began to shift because the spiritual awakening happening within you could not be concealed. Many believe that beauty comes from external things such as expensive clothing, status, or material wealth. But true beauty, lasting beauty, is spiritual. It is the radiance of God's presence shining through you. That is precisely what is happening. As you align with His will, as you walk in faith and release the burdens of bitterness, fear, and anxiety, something within you changes. Your posture straightens because you now carry yourself with the confidence of someone who knows their divine purpose. Your eyes shine with a newfound light, no longer dulled by the weight of the past. Your smile becomes more genuine because you have discovered an unshakable peace. Even your skin appears to glow, not because of any product, but because the stress and worry that once clouded your face have been lifted. Your body is no longer something you neglect or mistreat. You are learning to respect yourself, to nurture the vessel God has entrusted to you. You make better choices feeding yourself with nourishing foods, moving with intention, and carrying yourself with dignity. This isn't about vanity. It's about recognizing that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit and treating it with the love and care it deserves. As your connection with God deepens, your habits shift. You let go of toxic behaviors, relationships, and thought patterns that no longer serve your highest purpose. You begin to crave what truly nourishes you, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. This alignment manifests outwardly, and people start to notice, even if they can't quite explain why. They see the transformation, but they don't understand that it is not simply external. It is the work of God radiating from the inside out. The transformation that God brings always begins within. The changes in your physical appearance are merely reflections of the spiritual awakening taking place in your soul. When your spirit is healed, your entire being follows. Spiritual beauty is undeniable. It is not dictated by trends or worldly standards, but is instead a divine glow, an unmistakable presence that draws others in. Even those who don't understand what's happening to you can't deny the change they see. Self-care is spiritual. When you truly see yourself as God's masterpiece, you begin to treat yourself with the respect, love, and kindness you deserve. God has been preparing you all along. Every challenge, every setback was never meant to destroy you, but to refine you into the person you were always meant to be. If this message resonates with you, declare it in the comments. God is refining me. And if this video blessed you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spiritual wisdom. Stay strong, stay faithful, and continue to shine with God's divine light. 3. The physical reflection of the inner struggle. There was a time when your outward appearance reflected the internal struggles you faced. Maybe you felt lost, insecure, or burdened by negative energy. That heaviness showed up in the way you carried yourself, the way you dressed, and even in your facial expressions. You might have felt disconnected from your own reflection, sensing that it did not align with who you truly were or wished to become. The transformation begins. Something changed when you embarked on your spiritual awakening. As you grew internally, shedding old beliefs, healing past wounds, and stepping into your divine purpose, your external self followed suit. This transformation was not just in your mindset, but in the very essence of your being. The light that awakened within you started to radiate outward. Slowly, without forcing it, you found yourself making different choices, choosing clothes that resonated with your higher self, standing taller with confidence, and embracing a presence that was undeniably magnetic. People began to notice. Some may have even commented that you looked different, but couldn't quite explain why. It wasn't about a drastic change in hairstyle or weight. It was something deeper. Your spirit became lighter, and that inner glow manifested in ways that went beyond the physical. God's hand in your transformation. As a chosen one, your transformation is not just coincidence, it is divine intervention. When God calls you to a higher purpose, He refines you inside and out. The struggles you once carried are being lifted, and the new energy you embody is a direct reflection of God's work within you. The wisdom you have gained, the healing you have embraced, and the love you now radiate have reshaped how the world sees you. You are being molded into the person God always intended you to be. He is aligning your outer self with the renewed spirit within. That unexplained beauty, that presence that captivates others, is the manifestation of His favor upon you. The energy you carry is powerful. Your transformation goes beyond what the eyes can see. The reason you keep looking better, even when you're not actively trying, is because your energy has shifted. Your aura has become stronger, purer, and more aligned with divine truth. When you heal spiritually, it shows in your glow, your eyes, and even in your posture. People are drawn to you without knowing why. They sense something different about you. Some may admire you, while others may feel unsettled because they cannot understand the shift. But know this, your transformation is proof of God's work in you. The discomfort you once felt about your appearance is being replaced with divine confidence. The insecurities that weighed you down are dissolving because you now walk in your spiritual truth. If this message resonates with you, affirm your transformation by commenting below. I radiate divine light. Let this be a declaration of your spiritual awakening and the powerful energy you now carry. 4. The glow of spiritual transformation. As you grow spiritually, your struggles begin to dissolve, and with that, a remarkable transformation takes place. The weight of past burdens lifts, and it shows your face becomes more peaceful, your eyes clearer, your energy lighter. The inner battles that once drained you are no longer visible because God has refined you in the fire and made you stronger. The stress that once furrowed your brow, the tension that once stiffened your posture, and the heaviness that once dulled your spirit all begin to disappear. When you step into alignment with God's plan, your very being starts to reflect His light. This change isn't merely physical. It is the manifestation of inner peace, resilience, and spiritual strength. Others notice, and while some admire it, others feel unsettled by it. They see you, but they don't recognize you in the way they once did. You are no longer weighed down by the same struggles that held them captive, and that can be unsettling for those who are still wrestling with their own demons. Your transformation is not something that can be explained through worldly means. It is not a new diet, a different skincare routine, or a better workout plan. It is spiritual renewal. When God works on you from the inside out, no external force can undo what He has done. This is why your glow confounds people. Some will attribute it to luck. Others will assume you've made drastic lifestyle changes. But those who are spiritually attuned will recognize it for what it is, evidence that you have been touched by divine favor. You walk differently, not just with confidence, but with purpose. Your presence commands attention, not through arrogance, but through an undeniable energy that speaks of inner peace and divine transformation. Those who are meant to be in your life will be drawn to this glow, while others, threatened by what they cannot understand, may distance themselves. This is the price of being chosen, the cost of walking in God's favor. But here's what makes your transformation so powerful it cannot be taken away. Unlike material possessions or fleeting trends, what God has done in your life is permanent. The glow of spiritual renewal does not fade like the luster of worldly success. It is a reflection of divine work that continues to unfold in you, shaping you into a version of yourself that is unshakable, unbreakable, and undeniable. While the world may try to replicate it with surface-level solutions, true transformation comes only from within. And those who are spiritually awake will see it, honor it, and recognize that you are walking in a light that is not of this world. You are living proof that when God touches your life, He changes everything, even the way you look. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom on spiritual transformation and divine renewal. Let's walk this journey together, unlocking inner peace, strength, and the radiant glow that comes from God's touch. Stay connected and keep shining. 5. Feeling different from the world. You're changing. Your presence is growing stronger, your energy more magnetic, and even your appearance seems to be transforming in ways that leave others both amazed and perplexed. You're looking better, not because of anything external, but because something spiritual is happening within you. The glow on your face, the newfound confidence in your walk, and the unshakable peace in your eyes, it all points to a deeper reality. You are one of the chosen ones, set apart by God, and this divine transformation is something that can't be hidden. Those around you may not understand it, but they sense it. They see the difference, yet they can't explain it. They wonder how you keep evolving, how you radiate such light in a world that feels increasingly dark. But you know the truth. When God touches a person's life, even their very being starts to reflect His glory. You've likely felt different from the world for as long as you can remember. There's always been this deep sense that you don't quite fit in, even among family and friends. People may misinterpret your quiet strength, your solitude, or even your refusal to conform to worldly trends. But this is not by accident. God has been setting you apart, refining you, and molding you into the person He created you to be. With that journey often comes a struggle, battles with identity, feelings of isolation, and even anxiety. At times, you may have questioned your worth, sought validation in the wrong places, or fallen into unhealthy coping mechanisms just to numb the pain of not belonging. But even in those moments, something inside you never fully surrendered to the ways of the world. That's because your spirit has always been drawn towards something higher. You've never been content with surface-level living. The glitz, the distractions, the endless pursuit of approval, they never truly satisfied you. Deep down, you've always longed for something greater, something eternal, something that could fill the void no earthly success or relationship ever could. And that longing is not a coincidence. It is the very thing that has propelled your transformation. The moment you started seeking God more earnestly, your spirit began to shift, and in turn, so did everything about you. When God works in a person's life, His presence becomes visible. The stress, the worry, and the burdens that once weighed you down begin to lift. Your eyes, once clouded by doubt, now shine with a sense of clarity and purpose. Your body, once drained by anxiety, starts to exude vitality. Even your posture, the way you carry yourself, begins to change. You radiate peace, confidence, and an unshakable strength that comes from knowing who you are in Him. This is why people notice. This is why they are intrigued. They see you rising, not because of worldly achievements, but because of something far more powerful, the spiritual transformation that can only come from God. But here's the thing, not everyone will celebrate your growth. Some will be confused, some will be envious, and others will try to bring you back to who you used to be. The world doesn't always know how to handle someone who no longer plays by its rules, who no longer seeks its validation. But don't let that discourage you. Stay the course. Keep walking in the path God has set before you. Because as you continue to grow, as you continue to evolve into the person He created you to be, you will inspire others. You will become a light in places where darkness once reigned. And while they may not understand how or why you keep looking better, you'll know the truth. Your transformation is spiritual, and no earthly force can stop what God has begun in you. Are you ready to embrace this divine transformation? If so, comment below. I am chosen to declare your commitment to walking in God's purpose. Let your light shine and inspire others on this journey of spiritual awakening. 6. Embracing the past with gratitude. Looking back at your past, you can now see how every challenge, every tear, and every moment of doubt was preparing you for something greater. You weren't just surviving, you were growing. God was molding you, shaping you into the person He always intended you to be. There was a time when you sought validation from others, when you questioned your worth, when you felt unseen. But now, you understand that your value has never been tied to people's opinions. You are deeply loved by God, and that love has transformed you in ways that no human approval ever could. God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called, as the saying goes, and as one of His chosen ones, you have been set apart. The beauty you carry now is not just physical, it is spiritual. Your energy is different. You no longer carry the weight of insecurity because you walk in faith. The burdens of the past no longer define you, and that inner freedom is reflected in the way you carry yourself. People sense your peace, your confidence, and the unshakable faith that flows through you. You may have noticed that when you enter a room, eyes turn toward you, not because of vanity, but because of the divine presence that rests upon you. There is something magnetic about someone who walks with God. They shine differently. They speak with wisdom. They move with purpose. And that is exactly what is happening to you. Spiritual transformation doesn't just change how you feel. It changes how the world sees you. The glow you have now is the light of God illuminating your path. The scars you once hid, they have become testimonies of resilience and grace. Every battle you fought was never meant to break you, but to strengthen you. And now you wear those lessons with dignity. You are no longer searching for something outside of yourself to complete you, because you have discovered the greatest truth of all. God's love has always been enough. This is why people are drawn to you, but can't quite figure out why. They see the change, but they don't understand the source. Some may wonder if you've changed your style, if you've done something different. But the truth is, it's not a change in your appearance, it's a shift in your spirit. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Proverbs 31:30. You are walking proof that real beauty is not found in outward perfection, but in the depth of your connection with God. So, keep embracing this transformation. Keep growing in faith. Keep walking in your spiritual calling. You are a living testimony that when God chooses you, He changes you. And that transformation, it is undeniable, unshakable, and unstoppable. 7. Moving forward in divine purpose. Have you ever noticed how people look at you differently now? It's almost as if they can't quite put their finger on it, but something about you has changed. They see the glow in your eyes, the peace in your presence, and the quiet confidence you carry. Even those who once overlooked you are now paying attention, wondering what's different. The truth is, God has been working on you in ways even you might not fully understand, and the transformation is undeniable. This change isn't just physical. Yes, you may look more radiant, healthier, and more vibrant, but it's much deeper than that. Your spirit has been renewed, and that renewal is shining through every part of you. God has elevated you, refining you through struggles, shaping you through challenges, and awakening you to your divine purpose. This is the power of spiritual awakening. When God touches your life, He doesn't just change your circumstances, He changes you from the inside out. The heaviness you once carried has lifted. The burdens that weighed you down have been replaced with a deep sense of peace, and the wounds of the past no longer define you. This inner transformation naturally reflects on the outside. Your energy shifts, your posture changes, and your entire presence becomes magnetic. The world sees beauty as something purely physical, but true beauty comes from within. When your soul is at peace, when your heart is full of faith, and when your spirit is connected to God, it shows. You radiate a glow that no skincare routine or makeover can create. This is why people notice something different about you. They see the evidence of your spiritual awakening. Your journey has not been easy. There were moments when you felt lost, moments when you doubted yourself, and times when you wondered if you would ever find your way. But God was always there, walking beside you, refining you, and preparing you for something greater. Every hardship, every setback, and every moment of pain has played a role in shaping you into the person you are today. The reason you look different is because you are different. You have been transformed, strengthened, and purified by the trials you've endured. God has removed what no longer serves you and replaced it with wisdom, resilience, and a renewed sense of self. The world operates on temporary things: money, status, appearances, but the light God has placed within you is eternal. This is why you keep looking better, why your presence feels powerful, and why others are drawn to you. It's not just a glow, it's the presence of God shining through you. Your transformation is not for you alone. It's meant to inspire others. God is using you as a living testimony of His grace, His power, and His ability to transform lives. People will see you and wonder how you changed. And when they ask, you'll have the opportunity to point them to the one who made it possible. If you've made it this far, you're truly walking in faith and purpose. Drop a comment saying, "I am moving forward in divine purpose to declare your journey ahead." Stay connected. Greater things are unfolding. 8. A message of encouragement. If you are still struggling, take heart. Your transformation is unfolding even when you cannot see it. Just like gold refined in fire, you are being shaped into a version of yourself that is stronger, purer, and more radiant than before. The battles you have faced, the trials that have tested your spirit, were never meant to break you. Instead, they were designed to polish you, to strip away the weight of the past and reveal the light that has always been within. You are stronger than you think, more resilient than you realize, and more loved than you have ever imagined. Every challenge, every moment of doubt has been part of a divine process meant to bring you into alignment with your true purpose. Have you ever noticed how some people go through hardships yet emerge looking more youthful, more peaceful, as if time itself has been kinder to them? That is the work of God, a transformation that does not just touch the physical, but reshapes the soul. The stress that once etched itself on your face begins to fade because peace has replaced worry. The burdens that once hunched your shoulders have been lifted, and in their place, you carry confidence, faith, and divine assurance. Those who walk closely with God radiate a beauty that does not fade, for it is not built on vanity, but on spiritual elevation. People will wonder what has changed, why you seem to glow, why your eyes hold a depth they cannot explain. Some may assume it's a new diet, a better skincare routine, or even good fortune. But the truth is, it is the light of God within you, illuminating every step you take. You may not yet see the full picture, but one day you will look back and be proud of how far you have come. Every tear, every moment of uncertainty was never wasted. God was molding you, transforming not only your heart, but the very essence of your being. And when you stand in front of the mirror, you will recognize the undeniable truth that you are no longer the same. You have stepped into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. So hold on, keep the faith, and know that your transformation is ongoing. You are chosen, and that alone is enough to change everything. If this message resonates with you, affirm your transformation by declaring your faith. Comment below, "I am being refined," to acknowledge your journey and inspire others to trust in their own divine unfolding. Your struggles are not in vain. God is shaping you into the radiant, powerful being you were always meant to be. Keep holding on, keep believing, and let your light shine. As a chosen one, you radiate a divine glow that keeps growing stronger, and the world can't quite put their finger on why. But you know it's the transformation that comes from within, guided by God's hand. Keep embracing this journey, knowing that your light is meant to shine. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who need to hear it, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more powerful insights. And be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos. Stay blessed and keep shining your divine light. See you in the next video. Why chosen ones are struggling financially. Spiritual wisdom. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Matthew 6:19-20. Have you ever felt like, despite your faith, hard work, and pure intentions, financial struggles still follow you? You're not alone. Many chosen ones handpicked by God for a higher purpose often face financial hardships that seem unfair. But what if this struggle is not a curse, but a divine setup for something greater? In today's video on spiritual wisdom, we will uncover the hidden spiritual truth behind why chosen ones often battle financial difficulties and how you can shift your mindset to step into divine abundance. Stay with me until the end, where we will also pray a powerful prayer in the mighty name of Jesus. Before we begin, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever felt like your financial struggles were part of a bigger spiritual lesson? Share your experiences in the comments below. 1. Financial lack is not always a sign of God's absence. Many chosen ones find themselves wrestling with a question that weighs heavily on their hearts. If I am walking in my purpose, why am I struggling financially? In a world that equates prosperity with favor and success with material abundance, it can be disheartening to experience financial hardship while remaining steadfast in faith. However, spiritual wisdom reveals a deeper truth. Your lack is not a sign of divine neglect, but a crucial part of your growth. God does not use struggle to punish. He uses it to shape, strengthen, and prepare you for the greater purpose ahead. When you shift your perspective from frustration to faith, you will begin to see that every financial trial is molding you into the person you are destined to become. It is natural to feel discouraged when bills pile up, opportunities seem distant, and the world appears to overlook you. Yet history and scripture remind us that struggle often precedes greatness. Think about Joseph, a man who had dreams of leadership, yet endured betrayal, slavery, and wrongful imprisonment before stepping into his divine destiny. Each hardship was not a detour, but a preparation. Similarly, your financial challenges are not meant to break you, but to build within you something that abundance alone could never achieve. When all material securities are stripped away, what remains? Faith, dependence, spiritual endurance. These are the qualities that define a chosen one, and they are refined in the furnace of adversity. Gold is purified by fire, and so too are you being refined. Your struggle is not a sign of rejection, but of preparation. God is stretching your faith, strengthening your resilience, and teaching you lessons that will one day enable you to handle greater responsibilities with wisdom and integrity. Many ask, why would a loving God allow financial struggle? The answer lies in understanding the nature of provision. Money is a tool, but it is not the source. True provision comes from God, not a paycheck. Sometimes, He allows seasons of scarcity to shift our reliance from material wealth to divine trust. When you are left with nothing but faith, that is when you truly grasp where your help comes from. Modern society is obsessed with wealth, measuring success by financial status. But God's system operates differently. Spiritual abundance always outweighs material wealth. Jesus himself, the King of Kings, did not live in luxury. He had no earthly riches, yet he carried the greatest treasures, wisdom, power, and an unshakable connection to the Father. That same connection is what God is developing in you through this season of lack. When you feel overwhelmed by financial strain, ask yourself, what is God teaching me right now? Perhaps it is patience, stewardship, trust, or the ability to redefine what true wealth means in your life. In today's world, where social media showcases highlight reels of success, it is easy to compare yourself to others and wonder why your breakthrough has not arrived. But God's timeline is not dictated by human expectations. Your spiritual awakening is a journey, and financial struggles are often part of that path. He is teaching you how to manage and steward blessings before they arrive, so that when financial increase comes, your heart remains in the right place. Look at the great men of faith. Many endured hardship before stepping into their calling. David was anointed as king long before he sat on the throne. He spent years in the wilderness, facing battles, rejection, and lack before he stepped into his destiny. God does not rush the process, and your current financial struggle is not an accident. It is divine preparation. Rather than asking, "Why am I broke?" shift your perspective to, "What is God preparing me for?" Wealth that comes too soon, without the wisdom to handle it, can be more of a burden than a blessing. Many people who suddenly come into wealth without proper preparation find themselves in ruin. Your financial challenges are shaping you into someone who will one day handle abundance with wisdom, generosity, and humility. If you are struggling financially right now, do not let discouragement take root. Instead, see this as a time of preparation. God is strengthening your faith, refining your character, and positioning you for something greater. Be faithful in this season. Continue seeking Him, and remember that financial lack does not mean you lack purpose. The path of the chosen one is different. It often involves trials before stepping into the promise. Hold on to your faith, trust the process, and remain persistent. Declare it boldly. I am persistent in this journey. Let's walk together in faith, knowing that what God has prepared for you is worth every challenge you are facing today. 2. Spiritual warfare and attacks by the enemy. Let's talk about spiritual warfare and financial struggles. Some of you are not struggling because of bad decisions, laziness, or a lack of effort. No, your financial hardship is not a reflection of your worth or work ethic. It's a battle being fought in the spiritual realm. The enemy knows exactly who you are in the kingdom of God, and he recognizes the power you carry. If you had financial freedom, you wouldn't just accumulate wealth for yourself. You would sow into God's kingdom, break generational cycles of poverty, and be a blessing to others. That's why the enemy fights so hard to keep you in check, throwing obstacles in your path, making opportunities disappear, and keeping you feeling stuck. But hear me clearly. This is not a sign that you are forgotten or forsaken. It is evidence that you are a threat. Your struggle is proof of your significance. If you were insignificant, the enemy wouldn't bother with you. But because you carry a divine purpose, because your wealth would serve a greater mission, spiritual resistance has come against you. Ephesians 6:12 tells us plainly, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." Your financial battle isn't just natural, it's spiritual. And when you understand that, you begin to fight differently. You stop relying solely on human strategies and start engaging in spiritual warfare. You start declaring God's promises over your life, standing firm in faith, and refusing to be moved by temporary circumstances. The enemy may try to block your blessings, but he cannot stop what God has already ordained for you. Just look at how many successful people in the Bible faced financial hardship before stepping into abundance. Joseph was sold into slavery before managing Egypt's wealth. Job lost everything before receiving double. And the Israelites wandered in the wilderness before entering the promised land. Their struggles were not the end of their story, and neither is yours. Think about a modern example, an entrepreneur who dreams of building a business that funds ministries, helps the needy, and supports their family. Every time they get close to breakthrough, another setback comes, a deal falls through, an unexpected expense arises, or they face rejection after rejection. From a worldly perspective, they might think they're just unlucky. But from a spiritual perspective, it's clear. The enemy is terrified of what will happen when they walk in financial freedom. And that's exactly why they must persevere. The lesson here? Your struggle is not meant to break you. It's meant to build you. It's sharpening your faith, teaching you endurance, and preparing you for the abundance God has for you. So what can you do? First, recognize that this is a spiritual battle. Pray, fast, and declare God's word over your finances. Second, don't let frustration make you give up. Your persistence is part of your breakthrough. Third, remain faithful with what you have. Steward your resources wisely. Give even when it feels small, and trust that God is working behind the scenes. Finally, shift your mindset. Stop seeing financial struggle as a punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Because when God blesses you, it won't just be for you. It will be for generations, for the kingdom, and for His glory. Keep pressing forward. Choose one. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it does, it will be undeniable that God was with you all along. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 3. God is testing your heart for integrity. Have you ever wondered why, despite your faithfulness, financial difficulties seem to haunt you? If you are a chosen person, walking in God's purpose, your financial difficulties may not be a punishment, but a divine test of the integrity of your heart. Money is one of the greatest revealers of character, exposing where our motives, desires, and true loyalties lie. Are you seeking God's will, or are you pursuing wealth? Do you trust Him as your provider, or is your heart secretly serving money? Jesus Himself made it clear in Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. This verse is not just about choosing between good and evil, but also about the condition of your heart when faced with material challenges. In His infinite wisdom, God sometimes withholds financial prosperity to refine you, to remove pride, conceit, and any hidden greed that may be lurking within you. He is not just blessing you, He is preparing you to handle the blessing. If wealth comes too soon, will it bring you closer to Him or further away from Him? Will you use it as a tool to serve others and expand His kingdom? Or will it become an idol that distracts you from your divine calling? Consider the story of Job, who lost everything, yet his faith remained unshaken. In the end, God restored him to double what he had before, not because Job pursued wealth, but because his heart remained pure. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Job chapter 1, verse 21. Likewise, your financial hardships are not meant to break you down, but to build you up. It is in these moments that God watches how you handle scarcity, knowing that your response to scarcity is an indication of how you will handle abundance. Will you complain, doubt, and compromise your values, or will you trust in His perfect timing? Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 remind us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He shall make straight your paths." What if your financial hardships were a divine arrangement to elevate you spiritually before He elevated you materially? What if He is teaching you how to manage your resources wisely, so that when He blesses you, your heart remains humble and your hands remain open to give? Ask yourself this: if God gave you everything you wanted right now, would you still seek Him with the same fervor? Would you still pray with the same desperation? Would you still walk in obedience, or would financial security make you complacent? This is why God allows His chosen ones to go through seasons of struggle, not as rejection, but as preparation. Remember, for the Lord disciplines the one He loves, as a father disciplines the son in whom He delights. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 12. So instead of viewing your financial struggles as a curse, view them as a refining fire, cleansing your heart and aligning your motives with God's will. Be faithful, because when the time comes, He will open the gates of heaven and pour down a blessing so great that you will have no room to receive it. Are you up to the challenge? If you believe you can, comment below, "I definitely will," as your affirmation on this journey. 4. You are in a season of preparation for greater things. Struggling financially? Feeling like you're constantly pushing forward but never quite breaking through? Listen closely. This isn't a sign of failure. It's a season of preparation. When God chooses someone for a greater purpose, He refines them through trials, just as fire purifies gold. This is why so many chosen ones face financial struggles, not because they are forgotten, but because they are being prepared. Think about David. Before he wore the crown, he was tending sheep in isolation. Before Joseph ruled in Egypt, he endured betrayal, slavery, and prison. Their hardships were not punishment. They were training grounds. Likewise, your current struggles are shaping you into a vessel strong enough to carry the blessings and responsibilities God has destined for you. Do not despise this season of lack. It is in this very place that your faith is being stretched, your spiritual awakening is deepening, and your endurance is being forged. Romans chapter 5, verses 3 to 4 reminds us, "We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope." Right now, you are being positioned for something far greater than you can see. This isn't just about money. It's about spiritual insight, discipline, and trust in God's timing. If blessings came without preparation, they would be wasted or misused. Many people who receive wealth without wisdom end up losing it. But those who have been refined through trials become stewards of abundance, knowing that their prosperity is not just for themselves, but for a greater purpose. Your struggle is molding you, teaching you, and building you into the person who can handle the next level of blessings without being consumed by them. In today's fast-paced world, where people chase instant gratification, remember that true, lasting success, both financial and spiritual, comes through endurance and alignment with God's plan. So instead of asking, "Why am I struggling?" start asking, "What is God teaching me in this season?" Let this time refine your character, strengthen your faith, and prepare you for the doors that will open in due time. Because when the season shifts, and it will, you won't just receive blessings, you'll be ready to sustain them. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights, and let's continue this conversation. 5. To build empathy and compassion for others. Chosen one, I want to remind you that your financial struggles are not just random hardships. They serve a divine purpose in shaping your heart, strengthening your spirit, and deepening your spiritual growth. God allows certain seasons of lack not to punish you, but to refine you, to build in you a heart of empathy and compassion that mirrors His own. As 2 Corinthians 1:4 says, God comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. When you experience the weight of financial hardship, the stress of unpaid bills, the uncertainty of making ends meet, the silent prayers whispered in the night, you develop an understanding that cannot be taught in a classroom or found in a book. You learn firsthand what it feels like to walk in the shoes of those who struggle daily, and this knowledge becomes a powerful tool in God's hands. Think about someone who has been through a difficult season and came out stronger. Maybe you know a person who once faced severe financial hardship, but later became a source of help and encouragement to others. Perhaps they started a foundation to assist families in need, or simply became someone who generously gave even when they had little. Their past struggle wasn't in vain. It shaped them into a vessel of God's provision and love. Take Oprah Winfrey. For example, she grew up in poverty, but instead of letting that define her future, she used her experiences to build platforms that uplift and empower others. What if your struggles are doing the same for you? What if God is allowing this season not to break you, but to mold you into someone who will one day be an answer to someone else's prayer? It's easy to question why God would allow financial hardship when you are striving to live a righteous life. But what if this struggle is actually part of His divine training ground? When you have known lack, you will never take abundance for granted. When you have felt hunger, you will always have a heart to feed others. When you have been in need, you will recognize the needs of those around you. Instead of becoming self-absorbed with wealth, you will be a steward of God's blessings, using them to uplift, support, and encourage those still facing their own trials. This is how God shapes His chosen ones, not by making life easy, but by allowing them to walk through seasons that refine their hearts and expand their capacity for love and generosity. So, Instead of despising this season, ask yourself, what is God trying to teach me? How can I use my experiences to help someone else? How is this struggle shaping my character and preparing me for the blessings ahead? These are not just hardships. They are lessons, molding you into someone who will carry the weight of God's blessings with wisdom and selflessness. Know that your story is still being written, and every chapter of struggle is preparing you for a future where you will not only be blessed, but will also be a blessing to others. Keep the faith, for in due time, God will turn your season of lack into a testimony of His provision and faithfulness. If this message speaks to you, take it a step further and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Together, we can build connections rooted in honesty and respect. 6. God wants you to rely on Him, not material wealth. Beloved, understand this: God desires your dependence on Him, not on material wealth. The world constantly preaches that financial abundance equals security, success, and happiness. But as a chosen one, your journey is different. Have you ever wondered why, despite your faithfulness, you sometimes struggle financially? It's because God is teaching you a deeper truth. Your provision does not come from money, but from Him alone. Remember the Israelites wandering in the wilderness? They had no wealth, no stored riches, yet they never lacked, because God provided manna from heaven daily. As Deuteronomy 8:3 says, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." That same principle applies to you today. The financial struggles you face are not punishments. They are divine lessons meant to detach you from the illusion that money is your source, and to root you in the truth that God is your provider. Think about it. How often do people forget God when they're comfortable, when their bank accounts are full, and their needs are effortlessly met? They slowly shift their trust from God to wealth, believing that as long as they have money, they are secure. But what happens when money fails? What happens when the stock market crashes, jobs disappear, or unexpected crises drain bank accounts? Those who built their trust in money are left shaken, but those who have learned to rely on God remain unshaken. You, chosen one, are in a season where God is training you to trust Him above all. This is not just about enduring financial hardship. It's about spiritual growth, about breaking the grip of materialism so that your faith stands firm, unshaken by economic circumstances. Let me share a story with you. There was a man named David, a hard-working father of 3, who always prided himself on providing for his family. He had built a successful business, and life was good until an economic downturn wiped out everything. In a matter of months, he went from financial security to struggling to put food on the table. Desperate, he cried out to God, not understanding why this was happening. But in his brokenness, he began to experience something new: true dependence on God. He prayed like never before, sought God's wisdom in every decision, and for the first time, felt peace that wasn't tied to his bank account. Little by little, doors began to open, not in ways he expected, but in ways that strengthened his faith. He realized that before the loss, he had unknowingly placed his trust in money, but through the struggle, he learned to rely fully on God. And now, he has more than just financial stability. He has an unshakable faith that no economic downturn can take away. So ask yourself, are you depending on wealth, or are you depending on God? If your financial situation feels unstable, Could it be that God is calling you to deeper trust in Him? Chosen ones are not meant to live by the world's standards. You are called to a higher walk, one where faith, not money, is your foundation. Psalm 50:10 reminds us that God owns cattle on 1,000 hills. He lacks nothing, and neither will you if you put your trust in Him. So, instead of fearing lack, embrace this season as an opportunity to grow spiritually. Let it refine you, shape you, and deepen your relationship with your true source, Jehovah Jireh, your provider. What is God teaching you in this season of financial struggle? How is He calling you to trust Him more? Seek Him, and you will find that when you have God, you truly have everything. And if you feel inspired by this message, type "I trust the process" as a way to affirm your strength, patience, and commitment to growth. Let's grow together. 7. God wants to protect you from the dangers of wealth. There is a deep spiritual reason why many of God's chosen ones face financial struggles. And it is not because they are forsaken, it is because they are being protected. Proverbs 16 verse 18 warns us, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." The truth is, wealth is a powerful force, but it is also a dangerous one. It has a way of creeping into the heart, whispering illusions of self-sufficiency, tempting even the strongest believers to trust in riches rather than in the one who provides. God, in His infinite wisdom, sees beyond what we can comprehend. He knows that financial abundance, if given prematurely, can lead a person down a path of pride, greed, and spiritual blindness. Many of you may feel frustrated by financial lack, questioning why your prayers for abundance seem unanswered. But what if your struggle is not a punishment, but a form of divine protection? What if your current season of lack is a hedge placed around you to guard your soul? Wealth, when placed in the hands of the unprepared, becomes a trap. It convinces people that they no longer need God, that they can rely on their own strength, and that their success is entirely self-made. This is why so many who acquire riches without spiritual grounding end up losing their way, consumed by materialism and an insatiable hunger for more. God knows how money can become an idol, silently replacing Him in the hearts of those who chase after it. Jesus Himself issued a stern warning in Matthew 6 verse 24. "No one can serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money." It is not that God does not want you to prosper. He does. But He also knows that true prosperity is not found in bank accounts or business success. It is found in a heart that remains anchored in Him, no matter the circumstances. So, if you are struggling financially despite your faithfulness, consider this: God is saying, "Not yet." He is molding you, strengthening your spirit, and teaching you how to handle the weight of wealth without allowing it to handle you. Spiritual awakening often comes through seasons of lack, because it is in those moments that we learn true dependence on God. Think about the Israelites in the wilderness. God could have provided them with an abundance of resources all at once, but instead, He chose to give them manna daily. Why? Because He wanted them to trust Him, to rely on Him as their provider, rather than hoarding wealth and forgetting Him. In the same way, your financial struggle might be the very thing keeping you close to God. It may be what ensures that when He does bless you with more, you will not forget where it came from. Modern society glorifies wealth, making it seem like the ultimate proof of success. But as followers of Christ, we are called to a different standard. God wants you to be financially blessed, but not at the cost of your soul. So, instead of asking, "Why am I struggling?" ask, "What is God teaching me?" Because when your spirit is strong enough to carry wealth without it corrupting you, God will open the floodgates of His provision in ways you never imagined. Until then, trust that He is not withholding blessings. He is preparing you for them. Declare today, by commenting below, "God is with me," and let that truth sink into your heart. Share this message with someone who might need it, because encouragement multiplies when spoken. 8. A divine redirection of your focus. Beloved, have you ever considered that your financial struggles might not be a punishment, but rather a divine redirection? Sometimes, God withholds financial abundance not to harm you, but to shift your focus from temporary, worldly pursuits to the eternal purpose He has for you. Understanding this true success in the kingdom of God is not measured by the size of your bank account, but by the depth of your spiritual alignment with His will. When money flows effortlessly, it's easy to become entangled in material ambitions, chasing success, comfort, and security in wealth. But when financial hardships arise, they force you to pause, to reflect, and to seek God with a renewed intensity. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us, "In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." Could it be that your financial struggles are God's way of steering you away from the distractions of worldly success and into His divine purpose for your life? Think about it when the money is abundant. How often do we truly seek God for guidance? But when the flow stops, suddenly our prayers become more fervent, our dependence on Him more profound. This is no accident. God is drawing your attention away from fleeting material wealth and turning your heart toward eternal treasures. Colossians 3:2 instructs us, "Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things." Perhaps He is calling you to something greater, something that requires your full trust in Him rather than in your financial status. In the stillness of financial struggle, God speaks, revealing a purpose that goes beyond money. Could it be that He is leading you into a ministry, a mission, or a service that will impact souls for eternity? Take a moment to reflect. What if your financial limitations are actually a setup for spiritual elevation? What if God is using this season to refine your faith, to test your trust, and to mold you into someone who walks by faith, not by sight? Remember, even Jesus, the Son of God, lived a life that was not defined by material wealth, but by divine purpose. He had no place to lay His head, yet He carried the richest wisdom, the greatest power, and the most profound peace. Are you willing to trust God enough to surrender your financial worries and embrace His higher calling? Spiritual wisdom teaches us that God's provision is not always financial. It is divine guidance, supernatural peace, and eternal rewards. When you shift your focus from what you lack to the purpose God is revealing, you begin to see your struggles not as setbacks, but as stepping stones towards something far greater. So, I ask you today, what is God speaking to you in this season? Are you listening? Are you willing to trust that His ways are higher, His thoughts are greater, and His plan for you is beyond what money could ever buy? Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Hold on to that truth, beloved, because in God's hands, even your financial struggle is part of His divine masterpiece. If you find these prayers helpful, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments section below. Let's keep together. 9. You are not mature enough to handle wealth yet. Let's be honest, one of the reasons many chosen ones are struggling financially is that they are not yet spiritually mature enough to handle wealth the way God intends. Spiritual wisdom teaches us that God's blessings are not just about material wealth. They are about responsibility, character, and purpose. Maturity in the Spirit always comes before the release of abundance, because without it, blessings can turn into burdens. Consider the story of the prodigal son in Luke 15:11-32. He received his inheritance before he was ready, and what happened? He squandered everything in reckless living, ending up in desperation and poverty. His downfall wasn't due to a lack of resources, but a lack of wisdom. In the same way, God may be withholding financial abundance from you, not as a punishment, but as a form of divine protection and preparation. He is cultivating patience, humility, and a heart of stewardship within you. Think about it. What would happen if you received a financial windfall today? Would you use it to fulfill God's purpose in your life, or would it lead you away from your calling? John D. Rockefeller once said, "The secret to success is to do the common things uncommonly well." God is teaching you how to manage what you have now, so that when greater blessings come, you won't just spend them, you will multiply them and use them for His kingdom. True wealth is not about hoarding money. It's about using it as a tool to serve and uplift others. Many people believe that if they just had more money, all their problems would disappear. But the truth is, money only amplifies who you already are. If you are unwise with a little, you will be reckless with a lot. That's why this season of financial struggle is a test. It is shaping your heart, your habits, and your mindset. Proverbs 3:9-10 reminds us, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty." God is watching to see how you handle the little before He entrusts you with much. Are you being faithful with what you have now? Are you tithing? Are you practicing generosity even in your struggle? These are the lessons that prepare you for abundance. So instead of asking, "Why am I struggling financially?" ask, "What is God trying to teach me through this struggle?" Could it be that He is refining you so that when wealth does come, it won't corrupt you, but instead it will elevate you and those around you? Delayed blessings are not denied blessings. They are simply waiting for you to become the person who can handle them with wisdom and purpose. Are you ready for that responsibility? As chosen ones, your journey is unique, and the financial struggles you face are not a sign of failure, but a call for deeper alignment with your true purpose. Remember, abundance flows when you trust the divine process and embrace your higher calling with faith and perseverance. Keep going, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, share it with those who need to hear it, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more profound insights. Also, turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Stay strong, stay blessed, and keep walking your divine path.